This is Norton Summit, and I've done it. It's all about Strava. You can really analyze what you've done over the years. So I've done on Strava, I've done Norton Summit 1,062 times recorded. I think I did Norton Summit the first time in 1996, 1997. So maybe done Norton Summit 2,000 times. Who knows? Anyway. So my fastest time ever, 2015, almost 10 years ago, 12:57 at 348 watts. And my weight about then was about 67 kilos. Now I'm about 72 kilos. And I did a 13. So now I'm pushing around 400 watts, 390, 400, around about, give or take, to do that. So if I can drop the 4 kilos, 5 kilos, then I'll be going maybe into the 1230s. With that same given power, same given weather conditions, drafting in a small bunch or solo or e-bike or whatever. Obviously the World Tour has come up here and ripped up the times, so you can see in the big bunches, 100 plus riders or whatever, really ripping up. So the draft does matter. So the watts there aren't any sort of freaky watts, all right? But in a big bunch, it really matters. Anyway, let's look back at my results, because most of the time I'm doing this, either solo or in a bunch. Actually, most of the time it's with other riders, just to get the hype up. So now you can look here at my time. So 2013, look at this. So I did 13:10 in 2013, and this was when I was 100% natural. So I've used PEDs. I've been open about that. I've never used EPO, etc., because I've never really been able to justify that. But testosterone and tren and debol deca, I've experimented with these things openly just to show people how easy they are to get. But in terms of performance, look at that. So I've done a 13:10, all right? And, there's not much difference really, is there? And then all these other numbers here, there would have been, potentially some benefits from anabolic androgenic steroids. But it just goes to show you, though, why was that so good? I was super, super, super lightweight back then. Let's have a look if we can bring up some. I would have been like low 60s back then. So that's why weight matters more than drug usage. Okay. Now, obviously, if you're using drugs and low weight, then you're going to be you're going to be doing some crazy stuff. But let's see if I had any mentions of weight there. Microdose. So yeah, no, I didn't mention there's no mention of weight there, but that was after one of those big Strava base mob blasts. So there was no caffeine. I was full natty bra, man, absolute natty, no caffeine, no tea, nothing, just full natty bra, no aspirin puffers, nothing. So that's 13:10. So it just goes to show you that this is my Strava. You can follow me. It's great. I love Strava. It's a killer. You can just see that the weight matters the most. So if people ask me, what's the deal, I'm going to tell you the weight matters the most, because look at that. We did a 13:10 full natty bra. Now, obviously, if back in my low 60 kilos, if I threw in, and there's no power meter on that data, but anyway, some of my bikes have power meters, some don't. Super low body weight, and then if you threw in some blood building, PEDs, not that I'm recommending that, I'm just saying that's what's done. So your body weight has to be lower. That's why, well, you see, this is the top 25 times I've done, okay? And you'll see 7 of those times, 2025, 2024, December, have been done in the last sort of 2 months. 7 out of 25. So, it's almost like 30% of my top fastest times have been done in the last, 30% of the top 25 have been done in the last, since December 2024. Because my weight's dropped. Okay, so the less weight you can carry up a hill on a bike is the better, man. Assuming you're doing everything else good. So there you go. PEDs versus body weight. Body weight wins, man. Body weight wins. Because the PEDs, the anabolics, will cause weight gain, and then you have to produce more power to get that same time. So there you go. There's proof right there. That's why World Tour riders, come to me for advice, and they watch my stuff or ask for selfies or subscribe or whatever, or talk about me, because I'm doing stuff that no one else is really doing. Openly talking about these topics and just giving people all the cheat codes. There's no gatekeeping here. So I'd recommend if people are going to do, I just, man, if you're going to do EPO and stuff, like, you know, yeah, sure it works, but like I'd say don't do it, man. I'd say focus on getting your weight down as much as possible, and then consider that, you know. But people who are using PEDs at a high level without squeezing all the other good stuff out, I don't think it's worth it, man. I don't think it's worth it. And I definitely see athletes out there who have used PEDs and like cyclist runners, swimmers, and then they stop, but they actually get a better performance doing my protocols. Okay, isn't that crazy? That my protocols will work better than any PED out there. But if you're doing my protocols and the standard PEDs of cyclist runners, then you're going to be like next level. You're doing some sort of POG, sort of, you know, Marion Jones and you know, that sort of effects we're seeing now today in athletics. We're seeing some crazy times with the increased sugar intake and decreased fat and protein and more of a plant-based vegan approach. We are seeing some crazy times in athletics and cycling. There you go. That's just some data there. So I put all my data out there. I've got power meter files since 2009. You know, people talk the smack, but no one talking smack's riding faster than me, are they? Anyone who's critiquing my protocols, none of them are actually riding faster than me. They're generally anonymous accounts, or just if they're public, they're very slow. And that's all right. As long as you're out there on your bike having some fun, that's the main thing. My goal is to get more bums on bikes. And there you go. So yeah, have a browse through Strava data. It's cool. So we've scroll through here, how many times I've gone sub 14. So sub 14 we've done 51 times. So not a lot of training, you know. Like, don't do a lot. Pretty lazy actually. And by not doing a lot of training, the big reason why I don't do a lot of training, besides being a lazy bones, is when I don't train a lot, you see what works and what doesn't. Okay, when you're training a lot, you can sort of maybe get away with certain things. But if you're not doing much training and you get a spike in performance, then that really is it stands out a lot more. Because sometimes if you're doing a lot of training, you get these fatigue cycles and things like that. So training the least is easier and more accurate, in my opinion, in my experience, because you can control the variables a lot better. The fatigue just isn't as intensive as when you're banging out 1,000k a week or whatever I used to do back in the day, 10 plus years ago. But yeah, I love it, man. Love the numbers. And heart rate, again, like heart rate it varies so much, you know. I don't bother with heart rate. I'll get given all these heart rate monitors from these brands. I appreciate it, but I just don't use them, man, because they're not accurate. You know, heart rate is it's all over the place. But power, that's my absolute. So based on my power data, I can pinpoint watts per kilo, or I can extrapolate my average watts based on wind conditions, drafting, etc., pretty accurately. So now 72 watts, I'm putting 370 to 400 watts to do a sub 13 in standard Norton Summit conditions.